Hey, what's up guys, Tech9 here, and before I begin this video, I just want to take a second, just say thank you all so much for the support lately. It really means a lot to me. And real quick, if you're not a subscriber or you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and stay tuned for more content. And also, in addition to all of that, follow me on my Instagram. I'll leave my tag in the description below, and you will find previews, sneak peeks, and if you have any questions or comments, just go ahead and DM me there. I respond fairly quickly. Alright, so with that being said, in front of me I have the Yucatel WP9, and this is such a unique phone with an impressive build quality as well as specs and some special features. So we're going to go ahead and unbox it and talk about it. So as far as the unboxing experience goes, the box itself is just a pretty plain white box, and in the box itself you do have some paperwork which walks you through the basics of the phone. In addition to that, you also have your USB-A to USB-C cable, as well as the much needed 18-watt wall plug, and I'll tell you why it's needed later on in the video. And basically that's all you get in the box. Alright, so now this is the phone itself, and it's bulky, and that's how it's supposed to be, by the way, and it has this industrial design. I'm gonna spend some time with it and give you guys a much more in-depth impressions on it. Okay, so funny enough, I did say I'm gonna spend some time. I thought that I would be able to spend a couple of hours and give you guys impressions, but I ended up spending actually a couple of days. So here we are days later, and I can give you guys a much more thorough review. So starting with the obvious itself, which is the design, and the WP9 has this industrial look and feel, and it looks and feels durable, and the back of the phone has this kind of textures that help with the grip. And also, speaking of the back of the phone, you do have your triple camera setup as well as this wide flash. So we will be talking about the camera later on in the video. And below it you do have a fingerprint sensor as well as an NFC stamp letting you know that hey, this phone does support NFC. You also have on the back the IP68 rating. Also, you have the company logo and the back-facing speakers. Okay, so on the bottom of the phone you do have your USB-C port, which is covered by this flap to keep it industrial and help with the IP68 rating. But it can be a pain from time to time when you want to go ahead and plug in your phone, but you're not going to need to plug in your phone often, and I'll tell you why in a little bit as well. Okay, and on the top of the phone you do have a headphone port. The sides are kind of interesting. They do have this kind of metal accent, and I love the color red with the black. I think it gives it a nice look and a nice touch. And you have two buttons on the left hand side. One is for Google Assistant and the other one is this SOS button. And on the right hand side you do have a power button as well as a volume up and down. And let me tell you something, these buttons are very tactile and they're great, and they feel industrial, they feel solid, and they get a thumbs up from me for sure. So moving on to the display itself, this phone has a, how do I say this, it's an okay display. It's not the best thing in the world, but that's kind of expected. At the end of the day, this is a sub $250 smartphone. So the panel is not really the highest resolution, so it's a 5.8-inch HD plus display, so a sub 720p panel. And honestly, before I looked at the specs, it kind of looked like a 1080p display. Take that information and do with it as you will. And you do have this kind of a iPhone 10, an iPhone 11, 12 kind of notch, so that's that. And let's move on quickly and talk about these specs. And the specs here are fairly good. I mean, they're not like a high-end specs, but they're decent. Actually, they're better than decent, so they get a thumbs up from me. So you do have 128 gigabytes of storage as well as a nicely sized 6 gigabytes of RAM. This phone is supported by an octa-core MediaTek Helio P50 chip, which is fast enough for pretty much most tasks that this phone is meant to do. Now, the biggest spec, no pun intended, is the 8000 milliamp hour battery, which has some cool features, and I'll get into the features in a little bit. And I challenge you to kill this phone in a day. No, matter of fact, I challenge you to kill it in 2 days if you can. And let me tell you something, it's effing difficult. So it's a hard phone to kill in a day or two. That's how good the battery life has been on this phone. And it needs to be, because this phone is really meant for the factory worker, the construction worker, and people who need it to be durable and long-lasting in terms of battery. While the processor is not really the fastest thing in the world, it works great for, like I said, most people who are interested in investing in this phone And real quick, I want to talk about the speaker. And I think this is probably the worst feature and the worst spec when it comes to this phone. It's a letdown speaker. I'm gonna let you guys listen to it, but basically it's tinny, it's not that loud, and it distorts a lot. So take a listen to it. Hey, what's up guys, TechTine here, and I am back again with a brand new video. So before I begin this video, as always, I want to thank you all so much for watching this one. If you enjoy my content, make sure you leave a thumbs up. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and be sure to also follow me on my Instagram. I'll leave my username down in the description, because that's where I really post a lot of my upcoming videos and yeah, so the speaker overall is not that good of a quality, but you still have your headphones, and if you want to use the headphone jack, you can. If you want to use your Bluetooth headset, you also can. So yeah, and if you're going to be watching videos, the video experience is going to be decent. Like I said, it's not the highest resolution display, but headphones and a headset is recommended for that. Now let's talk about the camera, or the triple camera setup to be exact. So you do have a main sensor of a 16 megapixel, and there are two other sensors that are just meant for macro and depth sensor, and the front camera is an 8 megapixel sensor. And let me give you a quick summary. The camera app takes pictures quickly, but as far as the image quality goes, it's not really something to get excited about. And that's understandable. So the pictures come out often washed, and they lack color as well as saturation. So if you think about it, I mean, the construction worker and the factory worker, or people who you need to use this phone to kind of take pictures of design, it's going to be decent, it's going to be good, but the camera is not going to be something that you will need to get excited about. Now, I want to save this next segment for the special features, and this phone has a couple of them. So first of all, if you look at the phone itself, it does have a custom app. This is called the Tools bag, and when you click on it, you have all these different tools and all these different applications. You have a compass, and you also have a sound meter, as well as an app that will help you hang pictures and making sure that they're even on the wall. So that's kind of cool, that's kind of neat. It helps you align the picture on the wall and more. And the app itself also has other things that you can just explore and do with that as you will. So the other cool feature that this phone has, because of the large capacity of the 8000 milliamp hour battery, and pretty much the people that are going to buy this phone are going to probably make it their secondary phone. Their main phone is going to be for like personal use. This phone's meant to be for like the business side of things, right? And the cool feature that I want to talk about is reverse charging. So if you have, let's say, a Galaxy S20, for example, or S21, whatever, if you have the USB-C to USB-C cable, you can plug in the USB-C end on the S21 and the other USB-C end on the WP9, and you have reverse wireless charging. While it is very slow, it still nevertheless will charge your phone. And yeah, I mean, overall, I want to give you guys my conclusion. And the conclusion is the following, right? This device has so many positive things going for it, but it is targeted towards a specific demographic, and that is the industrial worker and people who want to use this as a secondary phone, which means that it does not really cover the average consumer who want to use this device as a main device. You can, of course, but it just, I can't recommend it on the fact that the camera quality and the speaker quality is, I mean, the speaker quality is less than average, but the camera quality is okay. So there's that for you. Overall, though, it's definitely a pretty nice overall complete device for the industrial worker. So with that being said, I want to know what you guys think of this device. Do you like it? Give it a thumbs up. Do you not like it? Let me know why in the comments below, or go ahead and show me a follow on Instagram and tell me there. So yeah, with that being said, I mean, I want to thank you all so much for watching this one. If you did enjoy it, leave a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and I will definitely catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.